Hello everybody, welcome to this video, this little tutorial video I'm doing. This is actually going to be going up on YouTube and my IGTV. This is going to be my first IGTV video. I figured it'd be super appropriate and to put it on there because it's going to be a photo editing tutorial just on how I edit my photos in case anyone might be interested. Kind of give some tips that I use when I'm editing my photos. So without further ado, let's not make this video too long. Let's get into it. So this first photo that I got here is of my beautiful girlfriend, Courtney. And what I usually do is I start by opening up. You just kind of go down the line. I really only use these two. Let's actually start with this. So what I typically do, I typically go ahead and just auto straighten. Sometimes it doesn't need it, but sometimes it does. See, helps straighten up your photos, makes the lines more parallel. And I'm done with that. Now that it's nice and straight, I usually go ahead and boost the contrast quite a bit. That's a little too much. So maybe like right there. And with a lot of my photos, I really don't like highlights typically. So what we're gonna do, I just bring them down. Usually it helps get rid of glares when things are blown out in the background. It helps. Well, I'm gonna kind of bring down the shadows to make those darks, those blacks even more black. And also I might just dim the whites a little bit. You usually just play with it. Like, that's all you got to do is kind of just play with it until you get exactly what you want. Like that. So as you can see, just from that, this is before and this is after. So, already, I think great improvement. The original, a lot more dramatic, obviously, but that's kind of my look, kind of look I usually go for. So next, what I usually do is I go down to this color. I would normally mess with the temp, but the temperature actually looks good. It actually looks pretty even, and the white balance looks correct. So I'm gonna leave it. I kind of just go through every color that I see. If the color isn't there, then I usually don't even mess with it. But like reds, I can like brighten up the reds a little bit, make them more vibrant. You can change the luminance, which is basically like this. It just makes it whatever different colors you want. You can mess with the hue. I usually don't though. I usually just stick to saturation. So next, orange. There's a very fine balance between being like a Cheeto and being pale and gray. So I try to find that. Sometimes I just end up leaving them normal. But just to match the whole aesthetic of everything else being color boosted, I usually just try to do a little bit. I don't even know if there's any yellows. Oh no. Green, blue. These light blues aren't really coming out that much, but I'm gonna go ahead and boost them anyway. Definitely this blue's gonna show up. I know it. Yup. Brighten it up though. Look at that. It kind of helps also brighten up the entire picture just as a whole. So I mean, purple. Oh yeah. Brighten it up a little bit. Whatever this like weird magenta purple thing red is, I guess. The next, I usually get down to this effects. And I'll mess with the clarity. Too much clarity and it ends up looking weird, and like their skin texture gets kind of weird. Just a little bit usually go a long way, like making the picture look super crisp. That's the look you're going for. Dehaze is really good for like landscapes, and maybe if you need to darken up your picture a little bit, but lately I haven't been using it. Now this one, however, vignette, use it a lot. I don't know if I'm gonna use it that much here because it's already vignetted a little bit naturally from my lens, but yeah, maybe just like right there. I don't want to overdo it. And really, that's all I do. Yeah, that's basically it. Let's go ahead and move on to a different photo. I think the next one I have picked out is not as dark. These are all the photos I had to do. So next, I'm gonna do this one. So this one's a little brighter. I picked two that were kind of in shadow because I really didn't want to get into like having shadows on your face and stuff like that, like part shadow, part light, it gets really messy. I honestly don't even really even use those photos anymore if I take them. They're just too difficult and they really look kind of weird. So obviously we're gonna go ahead and do my auto straighten. Just a little bit, I guess it was just a little off. Nothing major, but I'll keep it. Go ahead and boost the contrast a little bit, a lot of bit. See, I basically, that's my, it's kind of my style in case you haven't noticed. It's kind of like mess with stuff. Kind of like that glare a little bit. It's super hot. See, that's just my mistake overall right there. Just dealing with like straight on sunlight, it just destroys it. It sucks, but you gotta deal with it. It's something, unless you have like someone helping you out, like doing shadows and stuff, but not I. If anyone were to do that, that would be Courtney, and she's my model right now. So we're gonna head and move down to color. This one actually is a little bit. I'm gonna see what happens when I mess with the tint. We're gonna make it blues a little bit brighter, a little bit of cooler temperature. Kind of like the subtle like orangey tones. I'm gonna like kind of backtrack a little bit. I just wanted it to be a little bit lighter on that aspect. Tint is really hard to mess up, I think, at least for me. I haven't really ever had any problems with it. Like, as you can see, it's kind of rare. I couldn't even tell you honestly at the top of my head what makes that off. Sometimes it's off. Go to reds. I don't know if there are really any reds in here. Let's lips a little bit. We'll just boost it a little bit. Oranges, I don't want to make her like a new Balloompa, so we'll leave her right there. Yellows. Playing a dangerous game with these yellows right now, because like it can kind of look weird and like way oversaturated. I'm not careful, but I kind of want to give the wood a little bit net. Make it pop a little bit more. That should do. Greens. Mess with the luminance a little bit. For any light blues. Oh, this little thing. I'm gonna get rid of that too, I think. I go back and use Photoshop. I'll probably just Photoshop that out. I don't want that there at all. That doesn't even matter. The blue, probably to make her dress a little darker or lighter. Give it a little bit, but oh, there's the sky too. You can see the little bit of sky here in the background. I'll just leave it. I don't think there are any purples. I doubt there are any that are not just gonna, that are not just gonna mess up the photo. So those back. Clarity. A little bit. It does. Clarity also brightens the picture sometimes. Like very fuzzy, very sharp. But I want just a little bit of sharpness. This one actually isn't ruining the picture like it normally does. I don't know if I want to use it though. We'll just leave the way. And of course, my signature vignette. Just a little bit though. In my opinion, it draws a lot of focus to the face of the subject, or whatever it is, whatever the subject might be. It just draws more attention to the middle of the frame. So with that, I think we're done. I think here's a little bit after. This is before. So that's how I edit my photos. I mean, I have a lot more to do. Feel free, go and give them a like on my Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, my Instagram's in the description. And if you're watching this on Instagram, my YouTube is in my bio. So feel free, go check all those out. Thank you to Courtney for being my awesome model the past few days. And thank you for watching. And I'll see you hopefully in another video if I ever decide to do another tutorial on something like this. And I'll see you on YouTube if you decide to come over there. Bye.